So usually my rule is, if I get into this bag, things have gotten a little more interesting. In here are patches for both my platypus and later when I get them out, my air mattress, and also an extra Bic lighter. Don't buy the cheap ones. Yes?
I was wondering, have you ever been in a situation that you actually needed to use your emergency kit for?
The fire starter, no. The whistle, no. I've never used a signal mirror, but since it weighs about 1/4 of an ounce, I don't care. The buckle, no. The first aid kit, lots of times. I tore my heels bloody. Couple Band-Aids on there, saved my Yellowstone trip. I'll explain that later. So it's not a total like, oh, things are doomed, but, you know. Let's see, what else do I have here? Clothing, we'll get to food in a minute. Alrighty. Now these are Sea to Summit bags. There are many like them, but nothing is this light, and these are all waterproof. When you fold them, they've got a seal. They go on sale sometimes. I use them. I've only damaged one, and that bag's back there. They're pretty tough. I do this, fold it up. It holds water, but it also keeps my gear dry, and it keeps things contained. So what would I use? And this gear is all summer gear. This is not my winter setup, but most of these things in here I would use for winter in addition. Okay, basic warmth. You can use down, but if it rains and you get wet, you got nothing. So the first year in Yellowstone, I used 2 of these jackets. It wasn't great, but I was warm. You get soaked in this thing, it's okay. You're wet, but you're still warm. It's all synthetic. Now, have you learned the phrase about cotton clothing in the backcountry? Right. All your underclothes and base clothes, you don't use cotton. It all feels good here, but out there, bad news. A little camp towel, kind of handy. Doesn't weigh much, but you can filter muddy water instead of pouring it into your bag. My basic rain jacket is a Marmot Precip. It's not like my Gore-Tex parka, but balls down to real tight, weighs almost nothing. It acts as a second insulation layer. So I've gotten to camp, it's cold. I put this jacket on, I'm still cold. I get a second layer, so it can keep you warm. Shell pants, same thing. You're going through, I'm kind of cold, I put this on, it rains, I'm cold. Bugs, just put your pants on, put your jacket on, put your head net on, no bugs, no problem. Let's see. A hat. I mean, there are all sorts of different styles of hat. This is the one I use. It's a windproof hat, so it can be blasting 20 miles an hour. My ears are okay. That's just me. I also wear a headband, because sometimes hiking, you get hot. So this guy just keeps my ears protected from the wind. Looks dorky, but it works. Light gloves. When you're up in the mountains, you're all geared up, your hands are still freezing. Just the thinnest gloves make all the difference. They're like $5. I mean, you can use I use anything. It doesn't really matter to me. In fact, I've worn a hole in these. But, you know, that's okay. They're cheap. So I got that, clothing. That's pretty much my clothing rig. Now, if I get to my hiking clothing here, this is my standard hat that I use. Keeps the sun off, whatever hat you guys like to use. I used to carry the baseball hat, but when the sun was behind me, I'd have to turn it around. And going on switchbacks, oh, now I got to turn it around. No turning. Plus the bug head net comes over, and it keeps it off my face. No problem. Let's see. My shorts, you don't have to spend bucks on these. $10, Walmart, done. Synthetic. My shirt. I think this was a Target special 10 years ago. As you can see, no matter how much I bleach this thing, it's just not going to come clean. Once again, you don't have to spend a lot of money on this. You can wear an ex officio shirt, $60. You're going to get it ruined and just as dirty as $10. You know, you don't have to spend there. Let's see, socks. You don't want cotton socks. They will ball up. They will make your feet hurt. Smart wool. Now, it depends, right? But if it's really hot, you don't want a heavyweight sock. These are lighter. Underwear, ex officio, don't use your cotton underwear, bad news. They're not cheap, but it works. All right.
Now, if you buy your Scout socks, they're specifically made of smart wool.
Oh, really? They actually do that? Oh, good. Yeah, that's socks,
Dark green
boots.
ones are smart wool.
Oh, nice. They've upgraded. One thing I may or may not carry is a sewing kit. A little needle and thread. You'd be amazed. Let's see, how are we doing on time here? Okay.
You can sew your stuff together if they rip.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were a couple guys in Antarctica this past season. They tore several pieces of equipment that are critical to them. A little bit of needle and thread, a little whip stitching. It's not beautiful, right, but you're good to go. All righty, let's get down to, what do we got here? The sleep system. Toss this stuff out of the way. Okay, this is my sleeping bag. Looks small. It's rated to 30 degrees. I've taken it down to 5 degrees. This is one of the things that I say, spend as much as you can. The lighter and better your sleeping bag is, the happier you'll be. This thing's 1 pound, 8 ounces. So 5 degrees, I was cool, but I wasn't dead. Not too bad. Back there is my -20 bag. What I'll do is I'll pop this guy out. Let it open up a bit, and you can see the difference between a -20 and a 30 degree bag as they reconstitute there. Again, a waterproof sack. Don't let your bag get wet. Now, there are 2 schools of thought. You guys use foam pads, I'm sure, for sleeping, probably? All right. Okay. Right. This is the standard foam pad that most people use, or many. Z-Rest. Doesn't go flat. It makes a great seat. You sit on it, you don't have to sit in the rocks and dirt. I go back and forth which one I prefer. Nowadays, I use the Neo Air mattress. I get a better night's sleep. They weigh just about the same. But on day 3 of my 40-mile backpack, I put a hole in it at 2 a.m. because I was trying to shimmy around. I didn't get off the thing and move it. All of a sudden, I heard this, oh, man, really? So in my emergency kit, I had my patch. So I got out, and at night, I sleep with my headlamp like this, so I can get up. My headlamp's always ready. I lit it up, got my patch, pressed it on, blew up my air mattress, 10 minutes, I was back to Z-land. So if you decide you go air mattress, you have to carry that patch, because this thing goes flat, you won't sleep. You'll be miserable. So it's a trade you have to look at. I had a failure, I was able to recover. No failure, about equivalent weight, not as good sleep. You have to try that out for yourself. Each person's different. What do you fear versus what do you carry? And that's what a lot of people are driven by, is the gear they carry is driven by fear. I'm going to run out of food, run out of water, I'm going to get cold, the bear's going to get me. That drives a lot of what you carry. Alrighty, and I think.
Question on that.
Uh-huh.
When you lay on your side, are you hitting the bottom of that one?
No, it's just about right for me. Because I fill that guy all the way up, and I lay down, and it's just about right.
Yeah,
This guy.
With Big Agnes because it doesn't.
Right.
Heavy duty, so.
Yeah, for my expeditioning, I have a down-filled air mattress that's about 4 inches thick. But I use it on ice. I would never carry it during the summer. It's way too heavy. It's not worth it to me. So that's something you got to try. Go to REI, lay them out, and when you try these things, don't lay down like, oh, I'm good. Lay them on the hard floor on the ground level and lay for 10 minutes. It's weird. Everybody looks at you. But after about 10 minutes, you're like, I can go with this. Or, ooh, man, this thing doesn't work for me. So just like many things, you got to try out. Okay, where are we here? I'm not a tent guy during the summer or generally during the winter. You guys may have requirements. If you have to have a tent, you got to have a tent. You can spend a small fortune. You know, that's something you got to look at. So this is my entire shelter right here. Looks like a pile of trash, but it's not. I've slept in the Rockies, snowstorm, Sierra snowstorm. Let's see, where else? Down here, I slept with my dad up in, where was it, in Cuyamaca? Yeah, we just slept under a couple tarps. I've been snowed on. It's been great, no problem. You want to pass it around and feel how much my shelter weighs? For ground tarps, don't spend a lot of money. Home Depot, 4 mil plastic. Yeah, it looks like trash. These stakes are how I put up that tarp. It's got the cord in there if you want to pass that around. Doesn't weigh much. And that's it, except for cooking. Any questions? You guys bored out of your mind yet? Hopefully not. No? Okay. So now, this is my pack empty. You can pass that around. Check it out, see how much it weighs or doesn't weigh. My expedition pack weighs 6 pounds. My entire pack loaded, no food, no water, with that, weighs 13 pounds. So in the summer, why would I want to carry a 6-pound pack? That adds 4 pounds to my load. You know, if you want to carry a 4-pound rock in your pack, Mr. Linsdau, he actually bought an ultralight pack, and what would you say? It's much better? Okay, cooking. I think the BSA has certain requirements for modification of gear, correct? For using in stoves. So this is a maybe, maybe not section, but this is my entire cook kit. Stove, pot, everything. Thank you. So what I'll do here is, okay, my stove is set up. I wrap this around here. Now I can boil water with this thing just like that with my gas. Right. Thank you. So pretty light, right? Not too bad. Now in the back I've got a book by Ray Jardine. He's the ultra guru of backpacking. My pack I think is just around 2.5 pounds. His backpack weighs about 10 ounces. So he gets to shave, oh, thank you, 1.5 pounds off his backpack. And you think, man, that's so light, that's like nothing, it doesn't survive. He's used his gear to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, the Continental Divide, and the Appalachian Trail. So his setup is 3 pounds lighter than mine, and he's gone thousands of miles literally with it. And he's made all of his gear. You can actually order his backpack online, he'll ship it, and you actually sew your own pack. And you think, oh, you know, why would I want to do that? When something goes wrong, something tears, you built the pack, you know how to fix it, it's yours. So when we're done, you take a look. He sells kits to make his own bags, synthetic. It's something to consider, because this, I think, was about 150 bucks. His pack kits are much cheaper. You know, money versus performance, hard to tell.